Thank you, Judy. Love changes everything, and it certainly does. So now I'm going to invite you all to stand as we sing "I'd Like to Teach the World to Love." You'll find the words on the back of your bulletin. I'd like to teach the world a home and furnish it with love. Grow apple trees and honeybees and snow white turtle doves. I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. I'd like to hold it in my arms and keep it company. I'd like to show the world that love is just the only way. For love erases negatives and works for all each day. Song I hear, let the world sing today. A song of love that echoes on and never goes away. I'd like to build the world a home and furnish it with love. Grow apple trees and honeybees and snow white turtle doves. I'd like to somehow tell the world that God is everywhere. He has fulfilled its every need and hears its every prayer. I'd like to see the world for once all standing hand in hand and hear them echo through the hills for love throughout the land. Very good. Look how our crowd has grown since we started. So singing about love draws people closer. So I thank you all for joining us at Unity South Twin Cities today. I welcome those who have joined us online. Your presence may not be visible to our physical eyes, but we are grateful and aware that you have joined us. For those present in our sanctuary, please silence your phones and other devices. Judy Moen, our music director, has invited our friend Shawn Hockett to be our guest musician today. And we have a debut of a new service assistant, board member Mark Johnson. Yay! Give him some energy. And our tech team this morning is Adam Schneider. So, let us now set our intention for this hour we're going to share with our opening prayer. I invite you to join me as we pray. Today we gather in the name of unity, grateful to be a spiritual community of this same name, unity. However, we know the idea of unity is far more expansive than our church name. Unity as a principle and a verb is to know our union in the truth of spirit. We believe God created everything throughout time as an expression of truth, beauty, and good. We now must overcome any thought, word, feeling, or action that calls forth the other and undermines our unity as a global human family. In today's celebration, we commit ourselves individually and collectively to a unity of life, truth, beauty, good. Our eye is single, beholding only the divine presence in each and all, gratefully praising this wonder-filled world of diversity coming forth from the unity of all life. Infinite and eternal Creator, we live, move, and have our very existence within your universal embrace. We now commit to live within the highest principle we know as we affirm the statement of being together. There is but one presence and one power in my life, in this church, and in the universe, God, the omnipotent good. And so we say, Amen. Well, it is now my pleasure to invite Mark Johnson to the platform to help me keep this going.
All right. He's looking dapper again today. And it's wonderful to see so many here. It's just heartwarming, and so heartwarming to know that hundreds, maybe thousands from the country and around the world are here and online. Please turn your toward the cameras in the back of the sanctuary and wave. We greet those viewing from all over the country and the world by affirming together, we welcome you, we bless you, and we're glad you're with us today. Shall we repeat that? We welcome you, we bless you, and we're glad you're with us today. All right. And for everyone, we hold this thought. I behold the Christ in you. Shall we repeat that? I behold the Christ in you. Take a moment to look around the sanctuary and behold the Christ Spirit. You can feel it. And let's use our imagination to acknowledge the same Christ Spirit in all our friends joining us online. As we gather today at Unity South, it expands our hearts to acknowledge all faith traditions around the world, and we respect seekers everywhere who turn their attention toward the source of all. We offer this blessing for all religious communities. We honor and respect your religious traditions. Shall we say it together? We honor and respect your religious traditions. Now, returning our focus to our ministry, we join in the Unity South centering statement with focused thought and warmth of being. Prospered by divine love, we boldly move forward to serve humanity by building our lives and Unity South Church together. Announcements. Join us next Sunday, February 13th, as Reverend Stacey continues his 4-week lesson series on the universal Christ. Richard Rohr authored his powerful book to help everyone regain a sense of creation's original goodness. It's out there. In this lesson, love is the meaning. We consider love, and don't we need love today? Around the world, in our hearts especially, and that's where it starts. We consider love, which might be called the attraction of all things toward all things. It is a universal language and underlining energy that keeps showing itself despite our best efforts to resist it. Judy Moen at the piano and Adam Schneider will amaze us with their music, and Shawn Hockett, and I will be your service assistant. I'm Mark Johnson. You are encouraged to support our Valentine cookie fundraiser by pre-ordering a cookie box after this service. Don Ramler and Summer Ramler will be in the rotunda to assist you. This is the last day to order. Don't miss your chance. You can pick up your cookies next Sunday, February 13th. I know it's kind of tough online to do that, but let us prepare for a time of community prayer as I read the daily word for February 6th, 2022. That's today. Dominion is the daily word for today. Claiming dominion, I am calm and confident. I am a powerful spiritual being endowed with dominion, the authority to take command of my thoughts, words, and actions. Even as I work to change my circumstances, I remember I am not constrained by what is happening around me. Claiming dominion, I choose my response in all situations. I live with poise and confidence. I claim dominion over my thoughts and feelings. When I recognize limiting thoughts, I train myself to affirm my spiritual power and freedom. Divine wisdom guides me. I feel the strength of the indwelling Christ presence moment by moment, thought by thought, as I use my dominion to establish a positive, fulfilling direction for my life. And from Genesis 1:26, then God said, "Let us make humankind in our image, according to our likeness, and let them have dominion." And now, let us think about dominion, claiming dominion. I am calm and confident. And now, inspiration from one of our dear chaplains, Sharon Rolifson. Whoops. Excuse me, Mike.
We acknowledge the power of praying together. Thank you. Together with Silent Unity and all others in a prayer consciousness, we affirm and begin our prayer time together, drawing upon our commanding power of creative principle as our source and ever-present resource. Let us pray. Close your eyes if you wish, and allow your breathing to become free. I say to my thoughts and feelings, let there be peace. Let peace arise from within me, permeating my mind and being. Let me know that God is the source of peace, replacing every anxious, worrisome thought. I pray, let there be peace. Centered in love that flows with no limit or condition, let me cultivate harmonious thought that leads me to speak and act in love. As we surround the prayer requests in our prayer box, let there be harmony in every relationship. We are aware that no matter the circumstance, God is our health and well-being. We affirm health in every aspect of life. We recognize abundance by giving and receiving good. I give with the spirit of generosity, and gratefully I receive in that same spirit. I uphold the power of peace in all people. Let there be peace in the world, and let it flow from within the heart of all people. Let me hold peace as a treasure and lead with kindness and compassion. As we close this community prayer, let us remember in the hours ahead that all authority is within us to demand the highest thought and action of our divine identity as we sing together the Lord's Prayer. Amen. Just a reminder that I will be available to pray with you this morning after our service in the meditation room. Also remember that prayer is the center of Unity Spiritual Practice. Our prayer chaplain is here every single day of the week, except Friday, to pray with you. And you know, we get a little tired of coming alone and praying alone. Although we know the requests are in our prayer box, we'd love to see some of you come and pray with us. 11 o'clock in the morning. All prayers are confidential, and we hold them in the highest of confidence. Now, Shawn, I know you've been patiently waiting. Thank you for being here.
This is one of mine that Adam helped me record, and on it we have a lot of voices you'd be familiar with. But so I want you to imagine my voice being your voice on this one. I am infinity. I am divinity. I am diversity. I am one. I am the Father. I am the Mother. I am the daughter, and I am the son. I am the breath that you take. I am the love that you make. I am the hand you extend, the beginning and the end. Hey, yeah. I am that I am. Hey, yeah. I am that I am. I am all that has been. I am all that will be. I am nothing. I am everything you see. I am fire and I am rain. I am earth and I am sky. I am the moment that just passed you by. I am Jehovah. I am Allah. I am Buddha. I am Krishna. I am the moment of Zen, the beginning and the end. Hey, yeah. I am that I am. Hey, yeah. I am that I am.
am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am.
Before I begin my lesson on this universal theme, I wanted to call our attention to the fact that someone who dedicated his almost entire adult life to the welfare of the Unity movement made his transition this week. Let me get it right, Reverend Dr. Glenn Mosley. Glenn passed. He is survived by his wife, also Reverend Martha Mosley. I knew them from Unity Village because Glenn served as the executive director of our Unity Worldwide Ministries. In his day, we called it the Association of Unity Churches. And he served that for over 20 years, bringing a high level of professionalism to our organization. And to just place him historically in time when our building was dedicated in February of 1992. The certificate is out there on the wall. You pass it every week, although you may not read it. But if you do, you will find that he signed as director of the Association of Unity Churches, acknowledging the dedication of this building. Glenn served many ministries, early on Flushing, New York, later the Detroit Unity Temple, the Unity Christ Church in St. Louis, and other locations. The last time I had the pleasure of visiting with him at a Unity conference, he was beginning to struggle with his health. So this was not sudden, but came over time. And so if you would just hold a prayer this week, knowing that Glenn is on his greater journey beyond our sight, and to remember both his wife Martha and their adult son Bud as they adjust to Glenn's passing. Today I begin a 4-week series, The Universal Christ. This book has been widely studied. We studied it a couple of years ago here at Unity South in class form. It was written by the Franciscan Richard Rohr and has gotten a great deal of attention because it takes such a huge universal theme of the Christ. Not long ago, a friend sent me a birthday card in December, and the card read, "It's wonderful to be young and full of life. Remember?" I didn't know quite what to make of that card, but I liked the basic theme. Don't we all feel great when we feel full of life and vitality? And that same vitality helps carry us through days that may be snowy and overcast and cold. So this idea of vitality, I want to take us back to an origin thought a beginning thought, our very being. Now, it may sound abstract, but it is essential to how we experience life. Since the beginning of the year, we've looked at our basic unity teachings, the 5 principles. Last week, we looked at the creative process and how it works through us. So we've had this theme of kind of getting to the roots of our being individually. And now we're going to broaden that into our collective being today. Richard Rohr wrote in his book, or actually gave it a subtitle, "A Forgotten Reality Can Change Everything We See, Hope For, and Believe." A forgotten reality can change everything we see, hope for, and believe. Sometimes we get so busy with our daily life, all the things that our schedule calls us to do, that we forget our origin, the very truth of our being. And something that I think is so wonderful, the wisdom in which we are created, is our process of breathing. Breathing. When I was in Unity Ministerial School, there would be times, particularly when we went before the review boards, or we had a test, that we would remind each other. Some of my classmates even kept a sign on their desk. Breathe. Breathe. It's a universal practice. It works for everyone. Spiritual practices such as yoga are centered around the idea of finding peace and calm very close to home. Your very breath can center you in the fact that you are a living being. You're alive with each breath you take. Today, I want us to recall our genesis, our origin, as part of an infinite universal creation, drawing inspiration from Rohr's book, The Living Christ. To live today fully aware of what we are in God. We know the creative word recorded in the first chapter of Genesis, the creation story. And part of it reads, "Then God said, 'Let us make humankind in our image and according to our likeness, and let them have dominion over the world creation.'" Sometimes people read that closely and they're saying, why does it read, "Make humankind in our image according to our likeness"? Because in the Hebrew Scriptures, the word for God used at that point is Elohim, which is a plural word, meaning gods, not God. So all the creative powers brought forth humanity in our image and likeness. I've thought for years, image and likeness, that seems rather redundant. Isn't image about the same as likeness? The words are very carefully chosen. We're created in the image of our divine source, so we are a spiritual being. We're created in the likeness of God, meaning we are of the same divine substance as God. Here, in a nutshell, is what Richard Rohr described as one of the forgotten realities. Like my birthday card said, remember what it was like to be full of life? The image and likeness of our Creator. Wow. That's a big idea, a great gift. To be the image of our spiritual source. That must mean we are spiritual beings of unlimited capacity. And to be created in the likeness, the same spiritual substance as our Creator. Double wow! Think of it, your very existence, just like the superheroes of our favorite legends, is an awesome God project. Now, I know it might sound abstract, but we can find peace and calm and a centeredness in our day when we're willing to just take a moment and contemplate what we are. A God project. Life has brought us into being. And sometimes we don't realize that until our sense of life might be challenged. I had two days this week of medical tests. And I at first was a little bit concerned until I stopped to realize I am God life. Life is more powerful than any disease or any difficulty. Unity minister Ernest Wilson, decades ago, reminded his congregation, life is more powerful than disease. If this were not true, humanity would have ceased to exist ages ago. Life carries on. And we may have struggles from time to time, but we can trust that life will carry us forward. Here in this existence, and in due time, like our friend Glenn Mosley, the Spirit of life will carry us forward, as it is taking Glenn forward into a journey beyond this physical world. So let's follow this origin idea, this often forgotten reality, further. Richard Rohr interprets Paul's most repeated concept. He repeats it in the New Testament, in his letters, more often than anything else. And it is the concept of in Christo. In Christo. Rohr writes, all of us, without exception, are living inside a cosmic identity, already in place, that is driving and guiding us forward. We are all in Christo, willingly or unwillingly, happily or unhappily, consciously or unconsciously. I like to call it the embrace of God, of life. We're all a part of it. Again, if we use the logic of the mind, if we were not part of this infinite life, this infinite power, we were standing over here by ourselves, we would cease to exist. As one minister said, your very presence here, Mark, is a testimony that God is with you. How could you exist if God were not in you, with you, as life? This idea that Paul offers in Christo is this universal embrace that contains everything, all things, all beings. You may prefer to call this universal Christ identity the unlimited principle of life, or another name. As long as your idea, your chosen name, captures the reality of that infinite embrace that gathers all into its realm. Richard Rohr also makes the profound statement, God must reveal itself in you before God can reveal itself to you. Let me repeat that. God must reveal itself in you before God can fully reveal itself to you. Now let's unpack that mysterious principle. We often say in Unity's teachings, especially in Emily Cady's Lessons in Truth, that God or creative spirit comes forth, outpictures, manifests as our health, our substance, our vitality, our harmonious relationships, all good things that we desire. Rohr implies that we know the presence of spirit within our consciousness before we can experience God in these outer ways, as our health, our prosperity, our fulfilled desires, our answered prayers. We must realize this inner union with the life principle that brought us into being. Another great New Thought teacher, we've spoken of him before, Emmett Fox. He named this principle the mental equivalent. You must have in mind, in consciousness, a grasp of the thing that you wish to see expressed in your life. Before you express greater health, greater prosperity, more harmonious relationships, greater sense of joy in life, before any of that, you must inwardly perceive it. God, all good, within you. Rohr gave me the title for today's lesson, Revealed in Us as Us. We become conscious of God as the image and likeness of our very existence before we see God revealed as our life experience. Rohr quotes a wise woman who observed, God comes to us disguised as our life. God comes to us disguised as our life. Wow. That's something to chew on, something to contemplate. Now we have to stretch even further to realize that as we are a part of this universal identity that Paul called in Christo, that everyone without exception can claim that same identity. As the fictional Three Musketeers exclaimed, one for all and all for one. Perhaps more significantly, Jesus interpreted the Jewish law stating, love your neighbor as yourself. Love your neighbor as yourself. Realize that you and your neighbor are part of this one in Christo, this one idea of life. This is to know that you have a shared reality with all creation. To not forget such a reality would significantly help humanity with that divine dominion that Daily Word reminds us of. Divine dominion or responsibility for how we carry this great gift of life and how we treat others in this life, and how we treat this magnificent environment in which we live. Can you catch that idea? If it is all one, which Shawn put so beautifully into his song, if it is all one, shouldn't we care for it? Now, from a sense of self-preservation, we usually make a pretty good effort to take care of ourselves. Not always and not completely. But usually we do have a self-interest in preserving ourselves. Imagine what would be if you really had that same genuine interest for one another, more consistently, more completely, realizing that your neighbor is part of yourself. Jesus didn't say, love your neighbor equally to yourself. The words that have come down through history are, love your neighbor as yourself. As yourself. As a part of your reality. How would that help our relationships, our nation, our world? To feel that truth, as it were, to the very center and depth of our bones, that we are one. Now, I want to approach a practice that at least I can grasp. Hopefully you can grasp. We talk about spiritual practice, something that we do consistently to establish ourselves with this higher truth. So I choose a 13th century saint by the name of Saint Bonaventure, who advised that we work our way up to knowing this great chain of being, of acknowledging everything by starting with something simple and something small. So I challenge you, you can practice this week if you will. Find something simple in your world to love, acknowledging it as part of God's in Christo, as part of God's great life. Start with something simple. Don't start with that difficult family member or that challenging neighbor. We're going to work our way up to that. Start with something simple, like a rock. No, I'm not comparing a rock to your spouse or your neighbor. No, but starting with something inanimate and simple. And contemplate it. Just give it a little time in your mind. And realize that it's part of the infinite creation. You may ignore it, you may step on it, walk over it, day after day in your front yard. But that doesn't change the fact that it is part of God's creation. Then move on to a flower, a tree. Evolve your practice over time to include simple life forms. No, I'm not talking about your neighbor again. Simple life forms, then animals, then human beings, gradually working our way up, and then beyond. Consider human beings, those close to you, present with you, that you know. And then consider our dear friends who are no longer physically in the world. What is their reality? Remember, you were created in the image and likeness of God. So you have the potential as a spiritual being to think beyond these material things in the world. To be able to grasp and see life physically in your presence, but also life beyond your physical sight. Now here's another practice to try. And this I think we can all do. It's a story of a Unity student long ago who approached his teacher, May Rowland. Now May Rowland directed Silent Unity, our world prayer ministry, from 1915 to 1970. What a career. Her whole life devoted to Unity's central prayer work. Well, she also taught at Unity Village, and a student came to her and said, May, I've got this problem. You gave us an assignment to choose someone in our class that we could praise, that we could be grateful for. But the student assigned to me, I don't like him at all. We don't get along. I don't understand him. He's so different from me. And May said, I'll give you another week. Find something in that man that you can like. Well, a week went by and he came back to his teacher, May Rowland. Said, I failed again, I just can't find it. And she said, I'm giving you one more week. I want you to come back and report to me something about that student that you can like. So he came back the next week. And he said, well, I do like the tie he wears. And May said, go tell him. So he went back and found his classmate Bill, and he said, Bill, I like that tie that you often wear. And Bill immediately untied it and said, here, I want you to have it. And from that day forth, and through their ministerial careers, they were close friends. And there he learned by that spiritual practice that sometimes finding what counselors call the generous offer, to find something, even as simple as a tie or a ring, that you like in someone can break that sense of separation. Oh, they're so different from me. He can break that and open a path to friendship, to connection. So I challenge you. You know how I like to give you homework. I challenge you, if there is someone in your life that you have a hard time with, and if there isn't someone close, look on television. I'm sure you can find a challenge somewhere and find something to like about that individual. You can. You can. Maybe it's a certain politician. You like his tie or her scarf. Zero in on that. Silently appreciate that attribute of their character or of the fashion. It's a start. It's a start to reconnecting. Charles Fillmore once said, trying to give a very dramatic visual, he said, we are connected by life. The life the Spirit that flows through us all. And when you cut that off in any way from another individual, through prejudice, hatred, misunderstanding, you are literally cutting an invisible vein of life. And your health and your peace of mind and heart will suffer from that. Don't cut off another. Remember, what may seem like an abstract truth, Shawn helped shape it into a more attainable melody to sing. But to realize that one Spirit in us all. Well, let us close with a meditative practice of gaining this sense that we are in Christo. We are a part of God's infinite embrace, and that makes us one. I think that was the core of why Charles Fillmore chose to name what became our movement, our church here in Bloomington, Unity. It's not just a name, it's an idea, a concept of finding that unity of spirit that flows through us all, through all things, that makes us one. Then we can love our neighbor as ourselves. So I invite you to close your eyes if you choose. Just allow your attention to turn to the inner realities of spirit. Take a moment to breathe. And realize you are sharing with everyone else that same God-given air that supports everyone and everything. Breathe, realizing your loved ones share the same air. Breathe with your generous neighbors and your difficult neighbors. Realize that you share the same air. Breathe, recognizing that all Americans breathe this air with you. The President, the leadership of Congress, breathe this same air. E pluribus unum. Stretch further and realize people on the other side of the world are breathing this same air with you. Those we may designate as allies or enemies are breathing this same God-given air. And realize this air is not provided just for humanity, but all of creation. Living creatures in water and in air breathe with us. Consider the plant world and how it takes our out-breath of carbon dioxide, uses it, and returns it again to us as oxygen that we need. We have a wonderful relationship with the plant kingdom. We can contemplate this connecting relationship even beyond this planet. And we share divine existence with the spiritual possibilities that are evolving but not yet formed. Pure potential. The Almighty Source is ever expressing through each and all. Wow. Grasp the idea. We are all one. We are a unity with the everlasting Spirit. This enormous idea of unity you can find in your own breath as you pay attention and know that you are breathing with all of life. And as you're ready, allow your attention to return to this outer sanctuary, to the friends with whom you're seated, and open your eyes as you're ready. But remember, as the scriptures say, in a moment, in a twinkling of the eye, you can inwardly reclaim this sense of unity, harmonizing your relationships, bringing you closer to the flow of life, the healing power of life. It flows through us all. And as we acknowledge it, we are healed, connected, brought into the infinite unity. And so it is. So I'll invite Shawn back up here to bless us with his music.
That idea that God has revealed to us as our life, that's amazing. That's a paradigm-busting sledgehammer right there. I'll be thinking about that one all week. That's great. Thank you. This song is not mine, but in a second I'm going to tell you that it is. It's in the lyrics. But if you know it, you can whistle, hum, or sing along with it. Here's a little song I wrote, might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry, be happy. In this life we have some trouble. If you worry, you make it double. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Woo! Ain't got no place to lay your head. Somebody came and took your bed. Don't worry, be happy. The landlord says your rent is late. He may have to litigate. Don't worry, be happy.
happy. Don't worry, be happy. Woo! Ain't got no cash, ain't got no style, ain't got nobody to make you smile. Don't worry, be happy. 'Cause when you worry it makes you frown, and that will bring everybody down. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Woo!
Everybody. Shawn, way to go. We are grateful for all the gifts sent by mail or given online or received in this sanctuary. Together, we will keep this ministry energized to complete its important mission so that all who turn to Unity South will be embraced, loved, and empowered by our collective consciousness. Please hold your gift in hand or mind, for this is our sacred offering as we affirm divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all the good that I am and have, all the good that I give and receive, and I am grateful. Those in the sanctuary may leave their offerings in the container at the door. And it really feels good to see so many of you here. I'm reminded of Al Smith. In 1927, he was actually a Catholic candidate for president. And he went to a prison. I don't forget what prison it was, but he kind of felt like I feel right now. He said, he started out by talking to the prisoners in a group in the auditorium at the prison. He said, "Fellow citizens," and that didn't seem quite right to him for these prisoners. So he said, "Fellow prisoners," and that didn't seem quite right. He said, "Well, you know what I mean. It's just so good to see so many of you here." Yeah. So. Let's sing Keep on the Sunny Side, shall we? Yes. It's on the back of your bulletin.
Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life. We can keep on the sunny side of life.
Let's do it again.
Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life. It will help us every day, it will brighten all the way, if we keep on the sunny side of life.
Oh, once more.
Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life. It will help us every way, it will brighten all the way, if we keep on the sunny side of life. Very good. Well, as we go, remember it's the last day to order those Valentine cookies downstairs. Summer will be waiting for your order. So as we go, let us seal this time we've shared in unity with our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you for your presence. Thank you to our friends online. You make a difference.